Wait for it. Wait for it, and we're live. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just a couple of nerdy veterans, one stabby chaos coordinator, and one chief shenanigator geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. And we do have an echo as well. So
I know, I can't help it. I've got it memorized by this point, and so I start echoing it, and I try not to. Okay, except for when it's funny. Carry on.
All right. So, Alex, do you want to introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers at home?
Sure. All right. I am Alexander McCrease. I am the owner, studio director, lead designer of Autark LLC, which publishes Adventurer Conqueror King System and is now publishing Annals of the Auran Empire, which is our first fiction anthology.
Cool. Is that a 20D, like D20 system for people that aren't familiar with your RPG engine?
Yeah, Adventurer Conqueror King System is a D20 fantasy role-playing game spun out of the old school Renaissance style of play. With a focus on domain mechanics, mass combat, and other exciting stuff.
So it's designed for armies versus solo parties, it sounds like?
Well, as the name goes, Adventurer, Conqueror, King. So you start off as an adventurer roaming around like a Conan type figure, and then you graduate to becoming a conqueror. You have your band of mercenaries. You go forth with blood and thunder. And then you end up as a ruler, you rule domains, fight other rulers. So it goes through the whole progress. So it's fully scalable. You go from 1-to-1 scale all the way up to being able to do like the Battle of Cannae or the Battle of Gaugamela or something huge like that.
So it's progression lit in game form.
Yeah.
Neat.
I like it. I don't think does anybody else give you that kind of option? I don't think I've ever heard that before.
So not to the extent that Axe does. AD&D segued into chainmail, which capped out at about 1-to-10 scale mass combat. So you could do battles of a few hundred combatants. Birthright had battles of, a few hundred to a few thousand combatants. But Birthright, which was an AD&D second edition supplement, sort of started you as a ruler. So there wasn't so much progression involved. Axe is kind of a unique beast, and it has a full-fledged war game with it called Domains at War. So it's similar. Imagine if you were playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and then it segued into Warhammer Fantasy Battles, but with campaigns to go with the battles.
Fascinating.
Nice. Color me interested. We're going to have you back to talk about the RPG system separate from this interview.
Totally. My pleasure. I can geek out on that endlessly.
Yeah, because I can see Jana getting interested, but that's not what we're here for today. So
I know. I'm being good. I'm trying so hard to be good, and you keep throwing out things that make me not want to. Okay, keep going.
All right, next we got the lovely duo of BK Gibson.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello. So you want to introduce yourself to people at home?
Yeah, I'm Ben.
I'm Karen.
Yeah, so we've been on the show before talking about our fantasy novel Freedom's Vow, which is recently out via Sleen Press. But we are also in the Annals of the Auran Empire anthology that we're talking about today. We have Shield Bearer in that. Also, Bonafides. We both play RPGs, and I run RPGs, and I can endorse Alex's Domains at War for almost anything. Like I use it because I use domain style stuff, and I have kings in my RPG systems, and it's great. Like the rules are great.
We actually got commentary on you two the last time you were on the podcast. People thought you liked each other too much. It was pretty funny.
Oh no.
There are worse problems to have. So Karen, were you a gamer before you met Ben, or did he kind of drag you into it?
I did board games, but I didn't do any RPG games until we were probably a couple years into marriage, and I had a blast once we started, but it was exciting.
Except you carried my butt in Halo, so she was a better.
I did. That's true.
Still a better FPS. Games. Like she's still a better FPS gamer, but
yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
All right. Next, we have Mr. Sam Robb.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, I guess I should. I am Sam Robb. I'm just a guy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I write science fiction, fantasy, and a lot of stuff that kind of edges into horror because I either do funny stories with cute kittens or things that are eating your face. So
What about cute kittens that eat your face?
I do have
Yeah,
one.
that
I do have
happens.
one that's very close to that. I did a story called Recall Notice, which had a PI who was spending time as a cat, polymorphed into a cat for community service reasons. So, yeah, my mind tends to
Interesting.
go off into weird places. I guess kind of like I guess like you said, I should give my credentials for gaming here. Started playing D&D when I was in high school, which was way too long ago. Uh, Poison of choice these days is Rollmaster. I'm still playing with my original college group. We get together. Actually, we're going to be getting together tomorrow, and we are playing a game set in, believe it or not, Alex, Fantasy Rome. So
Oh yeah.
Nice.
you can't beat it. It's awesome. I love it. I love the setting. So when I had the chance to do some writing for Axe, I was like, ooh, this is cool. I can do this.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Zane Voss.
Hey guys, I'm Zane. So I am a writer of science fiction, fantasy, and alternate history. And I am also providing one of the stories for the Annals of the Auran Empire. It's a story called By Axe and Blade. It's focused on sort of the formation of an adventuring group. So it's a really cool story. I'm really proud of it, and yeah, I hope everybody really likes it. So I'm not so much an RPG gamer, but I'm a tabletop war gamer. I've been playing BattleTech for a long time, and yeah, I got really interested in Axe because of what Alex was talking about earlier. It's so scalable, and you can do some really interesting mass combat things with the system, and yeah, so that's how I got familiar with Axe.
Awesome.
Okay. Interesting. All right. And so as you know, if you've been listening to your listener, obviously Jana is the gamer amongst us. I think the first time I was an adult when I played RPG other than the video game kind. And I don't think that counts. As fun as it is to play Skyrim and, go all crazy, like they're doing all the mechanics in the background for you. So you don't really know what's going on. So I still think even though it's technically an RPG, it's probably more akin playability wise to a first person shooter than it really is an RPG.
Yeah.
Just on the fact that you don't have to understand so much of what's going on. I think the first time I actually rolled dice for an RPG was when I was on a podcast with was it Sci-Fi Authors Play Old School D&D, and James Ward was the dungeon master, and that was the first time I ever played D&D. So and he killed me the first day. So
As one does.
well, wait,
Yeah.
he would always say, I don't kill players. Players kill players, because he's basically saying you're stupid. That's why you died. My case is just the dice hate me, but whatever. All right.
I am THACO years old. I go back to original first edition D&D and was playing when you were maybe 4. You might have been as old as 6. So I've been playing for multiple decades.
OG.
Because I am THACO years old.
Yeah.
And Riffs, that's where I started, was first edition D&D and Riffs, and then worked through a whole lot of series since then, because I also have a college group, and we went through a whole thing where there was no system too weird to try. So we played Macho Women with Guns, and we played Toon, and we played all of the World of Darkness and its various things just to see what would happen, and we still do that. We love our 5th edition, and 5.5 now, and Pathfinder as good solid ones. But yeah, we played Traveler, and we played Psychosis, and we played, if someone throws a system out there, we'll play it at least once.
As it should be.
Oh yeah, it's the fun way to do it.
All right, so because this is the Blasters and Blades podcast, before we get too deep into this interview, we do have to ask the religion question. So is everybody ready for this? Yeah. All right, what is your favorite fantasy race, Alex?
Well, I have to say elf. So in fact, used to dislike the short people races so much that initially I excluded them all from Axe with a particular grudge against halflings, and the elves were as tall as humans. But I've since learned to love dwarves as well, but elves remain my favorite.
Why didn't you like the short ones?
Oh God, do you need to hear my rant on this?
The short version of it, as long as
I can give it. All right, well, it's particular to halflings, which is that the whole point of halflings, of hobbits, was that they were the most unlikely heroes possible, right? They were the size of little children. They had no useful skills whatsoever, and they were who was chosen to bear the ring, and it was a testament to the spirit of their hearts. And so D&D players were like, oh, of course, they were the most unusual adventurers possible. We should make them one of the 4 core races and have 25% of every gaming group be halflings. And it just irritates me to no end. It makes no sense that you would not have 3-foot tall, 70-pound useless beings in your adventuring party. But people were like, oh, yeah, but they were in Lord of the Rings, so they have to be a core race. So I got rid of halflings, and then dwarves and gnomes reminded me too much of halflings, so I got rid of them too. But I later relented, so they're back. That's my rant.
Oh, okay. And all right.
We did say this was a religious question, right?
Yep,
I can't disagree. And then Ben and Karen, if you guys want to answer, what is your favorite fantasy race? And you can each answer separately. I know you write as one pen name, but you have 2 minds, I think. Allegedly.
Yeah, I actually have a fondness for half orcs because we played an RPG. Ben led us through it, a group of our friends, and I played a warrior with a heart of gold, and I really enjoyed that character. So I'm gonna go with half orc in this instance.
He was an idiot savant.
He was really good at engineering for some reason.
Yeah,
but a failure at everything else.
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna maybe this shows my GM side of the table mind, but ogre. I love ogres. I love big bruising, like they're big, silly bruising guys. I love them for the game portion of them. So they're the great in boss for the very first adventure, and they're great minions for the 50th adventure. Like I love that. I love playing with their, I love big stupid boys who are just kind of fun and fat. You got to have good fat ogre. So that's mine.
Amen.
All right, Sam.
Alex, I'm glad you came around because it's dwarf all the way, man. Dwarf, gold, 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 gold. And I know all the verses to the song. There we go. My daughter's got me a diggy, diggy hole shirt, right? So it's got the entire song printed out on it. And this goes back. This is not like hey, I saw the Lord of the Rings and the dwarves look cool. When I read The Hobbit, the first time I read The Hobbit, I loved Thorn, Oak, and Shield. I loved all the dwarves in The Hobbit. Bilbo was cool, right? But the dwarves just all with their variety and character captured me, and I've been playing dwarves ever since.
Amen.
All right, what about you, Zane?
I am in Sam's camp with this. I am also a big fan of dwarves. Partly, in my day job, I am a metallurgical engineer. So anybody that digs ore out of the ground and makes something useful out of it, like I'm with you.
There you go.
All right, Jenna.
I just like run-of-the-mill humans. I like that they're just there in the middle of the whole thing, and they very often don't get anything particularly spiffy except that they're just too stubborn to stop. And, the elves are pretty and the dwarves are strong and everything else, and they just keep chugging right along, and there's something to be said for endurance.
Okay, I am like Sam and Zane. I am also team dwarf, but I don't think the female dwarfs have beards. I think that was just They misread the old codexes. The females don't have beards.
Okay.
We're retconning that. Yeah.
Yeah. They read the codex wrong. That's all.
That just bothers your sense of what's right and wrong?
Right. But I mean, I grew up with Spaceballs was, the bearded lady was the joke, not the norm, right? So, I know. You're going to make jokes.
I mean,
all right.
The joke is that you can't tell male and female dwarves apart, but you also can't tell male and female elves apart.
There's also truth to that.
Yeah. All right. And because we are polytheistic here at the Blasters and Blades podcast, Alex, what is your favorite fantasy weapon?
Oh gosh. It's actually the sword that Arwen uses in Lord of the Rings, like that cool reverse curve sword. It's really cool. Yeah.
Okay. Swords are excellent options.
No, specifically that one sword, not all. Just that particular sword with the cool reverse curve blade. I like that sword so much. I built a whole class, an axe about it called the Blade Dancers. That's the categorically the weapon they use. It's cool.
Okay. What about you, Ben and Karen?
I'm gonna have to say sledgehammer. Just a big honking sledgehammer. I think it's Warcraft 3. The Warcraft 3 Paladins, if you're familiar at all with those, where they have a ridiculously, ludicrously oversized sledgehammer, but there's something about the aesthetic of a big man in plate armor with a way too big to be practical sledgehammer that just, I love it.
Is it an ogre with a sledgehammer?
I mean,
yeah, I like bows. I love playing archers, so I'm gonna go with the bow.
Okay. You can't, I mean, that's nice. Any specific type of bow?
Crossbow.
Okay. What about you, Sam?
I'm going to say that any setting that has demons in it must be a fantasy game, and therefore I'm going with a chainsword from Warhammer 40k. All the danger of a lightsaber and none of the subtlety.
Yep.
Karen got one of those.
Oh, it was amazing.
In our Stars Without Numbers game.
Oh.
It would make the sound effect every time I brought it out.
Every time.
If we're allowed to do sci-fi weapons, I want to change mine to lightsaber. I didn't realize that was on the table. And then my favorite race is Jedi.
Yeah. All right, Zane, save us from ourselves.
I got to go axe here. That's my favorite. Trusty,
not
trusty
the best
axe.
RPG, best game, best weapon.
Best weapon? Oh yeah, both. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. My response is it does double duty, right? So.
Okay. Do you like a specific the two-handed axe, the standard axe? Like you got a preference?
A one-handed medium axe with a bearded blade.
Okay. All right.
A good choice.
What about you, Jana?
Oh, I am very fond of the longbow. I did a medievalist recreation group, ran a whole bunch of nights around for like 7 years, and that was always my favorite, was running around with the bow, and it makes such a satisfying thonk when it hits somebody, and you watch them just it was great. Now, when you're getting chased by those knights and they've got big shields, then it's not fun anymore, but it's really fun when you shoot them in the back. So I'd love me a longbow. I'm
a simple creature. I've always been partial to the sword and shield or the sword and buckler, but those are generally too small for me. I like the bigger shield. So the kite shield and the sword. And it just looks visually like the aesthetics of that are just kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm.
It's Billy.
So, and the rule of cool will get you everywhere. It might get you dead, but it'll still get you everywhere.
True.
And at least if you die with a cool looking shield that's really big, they can carry you back on it. So there's that. All right. Because we are civilized human beings here at the Blasters and Blades podcast, we are no longer knuckle dragging troglodytes. We're going to ask you coffee or tea, and how do you take it, Alex?
So I drink coffee in the morning and afternoon, and I take it with cream and sugar, and then I drink tea in the evening, and I still take it with cream and sugar.
Okay, what kind of tea?
It is, right now I'm drinking an herbal tea with elderberry for revitalizing rejuvenation or something like that.
Does it work?
No.
What about you, Ben and Karen?
I like hot tea, chai tea. I was actually at a tea shop today, and I got a sweet potato chai tea. So,
yeah,
it was really good.
Oh yeah, I've tried that. That's really good.
Yeah.
Is it like a loose? Is it like a tea shop where they actually sell the stuff to make it home, or they actually is it like a Starbucks for tea?
My 7-year-old just walked in. I got a little distracted. What did you say?
So the place where you got the sweet potato chai, which just sounds interesting, it was the place that you got it at, like a Starbucks that just happens to sell tea instead, or was it more like loose leaf and you're buying the leaves to make it home?
It's loose leaf tea, so it's actually a local company that was started, I was like 5 years ago.
Oh, they've been around for a while.
Oh, have they? And they've really taken off. And yeah, they sell loose leaf tea, and then you can get the hot or cold tea at their store.
Nice. That's kind of cool. What about you, Ben?
Oh, it's still going to be black coffee, usually about a pot a day. So,
black like your soul.
Black like my soul.
There you go. What about you, Sam?
Coffee, hot, black, and start the day with a pot of it. So,
I mean, if they didn't want you to drink it by the pot, they wouldn't put a handle on it. You know what I mean?
It's one serving right there. It's clearly.
Every time when you see the big ones like that, like I'm just picturing every time you go to Cracker Barrel and they got that giant freaking chocolate bar, and I'm like, what? I don't know. The problem is, Doc, I only had one. You could do that with coffee too, right? I only had one cup. I don't know why my heart's racing so crazy. All right, Zane, what about you? Coffee or tea, and how do you take it?
Is Diet Coke a valid answer?
Absolutely.
I'm a cold caffeine person, so yeah.
Okay, so will you drink cold teas or cold coffees?
I'll drink hot tea sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. That's
just like a little bit of honey, but that's it.
We stopped asking Jana because she tells us cold Diet Dr. Pepper every time. So.
What can I say? I'm a classic girl. I like what I like. And
somebody shared a message in the Discord where it was Dr. Pepper flavored sausage. So,
see, I think that's actually not going to be bad because Dr. Pepper has a lot of those richer flavors to it, and I think it worked fine with meat. We use it in barbecue sauce, and it's fantastic. Yeah. It's sweet. It's going to caramelize. So I'd try it.
I know people have said that when I shared it thinking it was obviously a joke, they're like, no, I've cooked ham with Coke.
Yeah,
I didn't know was a thing. So
yeah, so there's a lot of sodas that work really, really well in barbecue cooking and in cooking with meats because they're such a nice contrast. So I think it'd work.
All right. Well, if you try it, let us know how it was. And with that, all right.
I find them.
There you go. And so because this is an episode where where we're talking about something that's being crowdfunded, I'm going to throw this up on the screen for you, dear listener. We always list them as a sponsor because we want you to go check out the campaign, back it, support your local creatives. But so can you tell us, we'll start with you, Alex, since it's your world. What is the Annals of the Auran Empire?
Sure. So Annals of the Auran Empire is a fiction anthology set in the Auran Empire campaign setting, which is the imaginary world, which is the default setting for the Adventurer Conqueror King system role-playing game. As the image might convey, it is somewhat inspired by the Roman Empire, although with a healthy dose of the Byzantine Empire and the Venetian Republic kind of thrown in for additional flavor. It's been my own personal campaign world since about the year 2007. I've run many campaigns in it and have published a bunch of supplements for it. A bit back, Zane approached me and said, hey, I've sort of assembled this elite team called the Alpha Mercs that writes fiction. And have you ever thought about, doing a fiction anthology? And I had, but, I only knew 2 fiction writers at the time, which isn't really enough to do an anthology. And Zane was like, boy, do I have the team for you. So
that's the easy part.
So we collaborated on that, and he helped me source a bunch of great writers, and we went through all these different proposals and settled on this. We settled on this hook that each short story would be based on an item from the Axe treasure tome. So there's all these funky magic items. We thought, what if each short story is built around a magic item? So you could get like Monkey's Paw type stories or Excalibur type stories or sort of whatever direction you wanted to go, horror, fantasy, etc., based on the magic item. And that turned out to be like a really nice, clean hook that everybody latched onto really well. And they took it in different directions. So we got, one story is a little bit more of a horror tale of like descent through this horrific haunted city. Another is like a almost like a coming of age story of like a kind of a young man who goes from hireling to adventurer. Another is like the foundation of an adventuring party, but each one kind of the magic item plays this important part to it. So it ended up actually working even better than I had expected, and I think the anthology will delight fans of the game, and I think the stories are good enough that even if you've never played the game, you'll just enjoy reading about the world and fall in love with the characters. And I think that's all you can really ask for a fiction anthology set up based on an RPG.
So how long is the anthology?
It's about 50,000 words. It's not hugely long. It's I think it's 8-9 stories.
Okay. Any plans for audio, or is that a stretch goal? I know you guys are using BackerKit, so it's a little bit different than we're used to. So I don't know if stretch goals is an option.
Yeah, stretch goals is an option. Funnily enough, I actually hadn't thought about doing audio as a stretch goal. I suppose we absolutely should do that as a stretch goal. So yes, we're going to be doing audio as a stretch goal.
Nice. See, JR, you went and inspired him.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I read recently that apparently like most male readers actually read audiobooks more than books now, because the male lifestyle, apparently most men have jobs or something, and sort of they have commutes, and so they do most of their reading on their commute. And
a lot of the audiobook listeners, I'm told, and I haven't like checked the data myself, but apparently there's a decent number of them that are truck drivers, long haul stuff.
Makes sense.
So if you're sitting in the cab of the truck by yourself for a while, sometimes you just need voices to break the monotony up.
Probably there's an amazing untapped genre of like, in like all the Korean dramas, like the hero is always a janitor, and then he like somehow gets special powers, right? He's a trucker and he gets special powers, right? We are all going to be New York Times bestsellers, guys.
Didn't they already try that with space truckers?
Well, yeah.
We'll
talk about that.
We won't talk about that. Okay. All right. So the theme of the stories were all from your loot box in game, from them guessing the Dungeon Master kit,
the treasure tome. Yeah.
Treasure tome. Did you pick for them, or did you let them pick?
I let them pick. Yeah.
All right. So we'll go round robin, and we'll go with you. So Zane, obviously, what item did you pick, and what made you want that as the item for you?
So I picked a magical axe for my character, who is a barbarian, basically. And so this axe gives him the special power is that when he is on a ship, he can't get lost, and it always like steers him in the right direction. And so I end up using that power in a section in the story to keep him on the right track. So yeah, and I chose it because I love axes. So
yeah, I mean it's a good reason.
Built-in GPS.
I am told that at least in the old school D&D, if you play a barbarian, he has to have an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Is that true in the axe systems, Alex?
It's absolutely true.
All right. What about you, Sam? What did you pick for your story and why?
I went with an item called the Death Shroud. And honestly, it's because every system has its own quirks and corners and what it likes. I always like reading about how they deal with undead. So I'm like, okay, I want to read up on the undead. I asked Zane to help me dig into that a little bit and figure out how that works, especially because Axe has a kind of a different flavor in terms of how it deals with religion and law and chaos and whatnot from what I saw from the reading I did. And once I saw that, I'm like, okay, I knew exactly how I wanted my story to end. And I'm like, I need to find an item that will let me have this little squirrely scholar survive through this horrible horror show of a city with a band of mercenaries dropping one by one around him as they went. So I came across the Death Shroud, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. this looks awesome. It looked good enough that, as a matter of fact, when I got my edits back on the story, Alex is like, "You called this a death shroud. Why? Are you confusing it with something else?" And I'm like, and I have to tell you, Alex, it's because I stole it for another game that I'm in, and the DM decided to call it I think a grave cloak, and I'm like, this is just so cool. I want it for my little necromancer. So.
It makes sense.
Yeah, that once I saw that, I was like, this is going to be an awesome item, and it's cool. I liked it too because it was passive.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I have to go out and swing my sword at things or whatever. It kind of let me just kind of tell the story and hint at what was going on as things went, and the effect that it was having. So I really like that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. What about
Sam's
you, Ben?
was the horror story, obviously, in the book.
It's an awesome story
Get a cat
too.
in there. Yours was too, Zane. Just so everybody knows, I asked to read Zane's to do a critique on it because I knew it was going to be an awesome story, and I wanted to read it before everybody else.
Oh yeah,
nice.
My praise. All right. What about you, Ben and Karen? What was the magic item you guys picked and why?
I mean, that's the Shield of the Iron Curtain. It is it's a dwarven shield that you pick it up. It magically endues you with the ability to, gives you a fighting style. So Axe has these fighting styles that basically are inherent to your ability to wield weapons, but it gives you this basically sword and board fighting style. Just the knowledge is in you when you pick it up, and it inspires all dwarves around you. But then we had a human pick it up, which dwarves don't like. So that was kind of the fun. That was kind of the fun part where we kind of went there. I think like we had several things we were talking about. Remember,
Yes.
and then we're like, yeah, you were like, we shouldn't do like a weapon. I think there's gonna be a lot of weapons. I think we should try a shield.
Yeah, we wanted to explore like the different kind of story that would tell. And yeah, so we started with the torchbearer and with an adventurer.
Yep, that's why he's called Shield Bearer. Yeah, and so that was kind of fun because it's a different resonance when it's a magical defensive item, something that defends.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, this is a fun concept of a way to pick stories with the from the loot box. Jana, you should steal this from one of your anthologies.
I know. I'm sitting here thinking, how do I steal this without it being stolen, or do I just give credit to the stealing? Or now I have thoughts. I have ponderations.
I'll just steal it. I mean, I stole it from the idea of the monkey's paw, where they find the monkey's paw, and like the story is about the impact of finding that item, right? Like that was what. So like you can steal from me, and you're just standing on the shoulders of the guy I stole from.
There you go.
Yes, but, we'll make sure to put notes in that say we have acknowledgments and stuff, and that way we can all be stealers together.
It's burglary all the way down.
There you go.
Alex, what were some of the other items that were used? Because you said there was like 6-ish stories, and we've only got 3.
Yeah, sure. So so there was a tent that the hidden tent, when you pitch it, you go inside it, and then the tent becomes invisible, which is used by a prince who's sashaying out to get out from under the thumb of his tyrannical monarch father. There is a helmet that changes your alignment when you place it on your head, and so it falls on the head of a very evil man who then becomes a very good man. It kind of follows his misadventures. There is a magic sword that contains within it the spirit of all the people who wielded it before you. And if you die while wielding it, your spirit also becomes attached to the blade. And this particular sword has been in the family for generations. So it's like this young man whose family has fallen on hard times, but has a history of great heroes in the past. And they're all in the sword. They're basically all giving him shit for not being a great hero.
That one was John C. Wright, wasn't it? That one was.
That one is by John C. Wright. Yeah, he's a fairly well-known author. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then let's see. So Brian Renninger did one with something called the Hand of Calamity, which is a magic item. It's a severed necromancer's hand, and when you make a wish on it, an invisible stalker is summoned to go fulfill your wish. But he's like a nasty invisible demon, so he sort of make sure the wish gets fulfilled in a nasty way. So that was like the monkey's paw story. And what was hilarious, though, is that Brian made the main character a monk who's sort of his whole thing is like he's not supposed to wish for anything because he's a monk who's above desire. And I'm like, oh, okay. So there's like this interesting plot twist on what do you do if you're a monk who has no desires, who finds the monkey's paw. And then there's the Sword of the Lone Hero, which is a sword that when you fight alone, it makes you more powerful. And that ended up having like a fairly poignant moment in one of the stories when like the hero loses his best friend and has to fight on alone. So yeah, it was a really good set of stories. People took them in different directions. There's like there's sort of a war story. There's a very sort of intimate, ironic, close-in story of this monk. There's this oh, and of course, how could I forget? There's also the story of Family Honor, which is a lycanthrope who is trying to forge a magic ring that will get his lycanthropic curse under control, which is actually a romance story. So yeah, so we have like a mix. There's like a horror romance. There's some military adventure, some war, some coming of age. A really good blend. I was kind of blown away at take the exact same setting and you give everyone the exact same rule book, and that authors just completely surprise you with the different directions they go. So
that's one of my favorite things, because we get readers and sometimes up and coming authors all the time who go, well, but somebody will steal my idea. And it's like, no, you don't understand. If you take any given idea and just drop it in a room full of creatives, you are going to get a wild array of things that still all come back to that idea, but no two of them will be even close. And it's just amazing what the creative mind can do. So it sounds like you got a really solid group together, and I know I'm interested. So, when we have a link, let me know. I'll give you my money. Let me throw money at you.
I think Zane really got the group together. I knew Jonathan Oldenburg, who did the Falling from Oblivion, which is the Helm of Alignment, and then John C. Wright, who did Shadowblade separately, and Zane assembled the rest of the crew except Brian Reiniger, who I knew through another group as well, and I added him in to round that out. Mostly because I really wanted someone to write a monkey's paw story, and then of course he twisted it on me.
Nice.
So yeah, so I literally could not have done it without the Alpha Mercs. So big shout out to those guys.
And one of our regular guests that we have on there, outlaw author himself, Jesse James Fain, is one of the outlaw marks. So if you've heard that before, dear listener, that is why. Were you surprised by any of the items that were picked? I mean, it's easy to think sword and shield for a fantasy setting. Like, they kind of make sense for me as far as items to grab. But an invisible tent, I would not have thought of using.
Yeah, no, I was surprised actually at most of the choices. The Ring of the Wolf surprised me. The Hidden Tent surprised me. Brine Cutter surprised me. The Dwarven Shield surprised me. The Death Shroud really surprised me. Yeah. What was interesting was that the book was filled with these extremely powerful items. Like, there's like absolutely breathtakingly powerful items. The Panoply of the War Mistress, the Sword of the Red Warlord, like, the Rod of Cataclysm. And people be like, I'm going to do the Hidden Tent. So which was, I don't think anybody took the items are ranked from common to legendary, and I think the dwarf shield is what, it's very rare. I think it's just short of legendary. I don't know that anybody took a full on legendary item, and most of them are in like the rare uncommon tier. So that was pretty interesting.
Are these stories that are appearing in your universe officially canon for the universe now?
I guess so. Yeah. I don't lose a whole lot of sleep over what's officially canon and what's not officially canon. So I guess what's like George Lucas had, like, there was like the canon A and then canon B, and like, so they're canon B. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
but I think they're canon. I mean, I went through every single story and I sent back really thorough edits to everybody. And some of them was really nitpicky canon stuff, like one person mentioned like using a magnifying glass, right? And there were no magnifying glasses in the setting, so we had to like change that scene. One person mentioned there was slaves in this particular domain, and that domain doesn't have slaves; they have indentured servants. It's different. So I went through everything with a very fine-tooth comb so that it would be canon. Where it sort of strays from canon is, writers take some liberties with, the very detailed specifics in some cases of how magic might work. Like they're not narrating necessarily initiative roll type mechanics. Like I didn't want it to descend into lit RPG, if that makes sense. So it's not 100% canonical in that it's not slavishly trying to simulate the game. But I think that's a good thing.
So, Gibsons, were you familiar with the axe system in the Annals of Aurora? I'm probably butchering that, but were you familiar with this universe before you were invited into the anthology?
Annals of the Auran Empire, yeah.
Auran Empire, there you go. I was an admirer of the axe system. I don't run in the Auran Empire setting, but we really enjoyed it. As you know, from kind of what else we've written, we're history buffs. So, the dominant era Rome stuff was really fun. But then we also, I guess I've run a very high level axe. My mega dungeon, I play tested it first before I hit the real players in it in axe, and that playtest group actually unleashed an apocalypse. So I'm glad that wasn't set in the Auran Empire. But yeah, so we were very familiar with the game system. Auran Empire, it's a great setting. I've admired it, but we haven't played in it before.
No,
but it's fun.
Okay. Well, I mean, your Freedoms series is similar vibes based on the art. So, what about you, Sam? Were you aware of the axe system in the Empire?
Strangely enough, no, I wasn't. But I was familiar with Alex. Particularly, I follow the novel marketing podcast, and one of the tools that Thomas Umstand has on his page with a bunch of AI tools is the Cosmark. Is Cosmark?
Cosmark, yeah.
So Cosmark AI. So I'd played around with that a little bit, and just threw some things at it and whatnot. And actually, that was where I went when I first had some questions. I'm like, okay, Zane is talking about this gaming system. I know that you must know about. So I went and had some questions for the AI on Axe and how it works.
Cool.
So no, I didn't know much. Got some like the primer and a couple of other books to read through and try and get myself oriented, and really it was like jumping off of the edge of a pool and thinking like, oh man, the bottom's right there. And I think it was like 2 hours later, I came back up and I'm like, okay, I finished reading about the languages. It was like, wow. So incredibly, it's a world that I could easily see myself as a gamer or as a writer getting completely lost in a good way.
What about you, Zane? Were you aware of the universe and the system before this?
Yeah. So yeah, I was. I was actually one of Alex's Kickstarter backers for the Treasure Tome, and I got an axe because I found the domain management aspect of it very interesting. So one of my projects I'm working on is an alternate history set in the Second Punic War between Rome and Carthage. And so I actually, yeah, you'll like this, Alex. But
go on. I might
using
for a moment.
I'm using the domain management and like population estimate
awesome.
tables and things like that. to basically put figures on populations in different areas and how many soldiers I can mobilize from different areas and things like that. It's all works very, very well for that kind of setting. It's been extremely useful. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So
I'm probably a little too detail oriented in some of the things that I've done, but it's been very helpful making sure I don't make some stupid mistake. So yeah.
So is this love story to Hannibal Barca available for purchase? Asking for a friend.
So I've got a couple of short stories out in 2 Raconteur Press anthologies, and then later this year, me and 2 of my friends, 2 other alpha mercs, will be putting out a collection. Each of us will have 3 short stories, and my 3 stories in that collection are all set in this same universe.
So is it an alternative history where Hannibal wins?
Well, I'm not yet sure if Hannibal wins, but I'm getting there. I'm plotting out some of the novels right now. The turning point is that in I think it was like 224 BC, Hamilcar Barca in our history dies. My favorite story is that he dies in an ambush, buying time for his young sons to get away from the attackers. And in my universe, I have him surviving. And although he is crippled and not able to go on campaign anymore, and so in my universe, the 3 brothers, Hannibal, Hasdrubal, and Mago, all end up being working together much more closely. And giving Rome a really close run for their money.
So you have the right guys as the bad guys in that one. Okay, we're going to have you come back when that series launches.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Because Scipio Africanus was not as cool as everyone says. Just saying. All right.
Wait. Why is Scipio not cool? He won the Battle of Zama. Why do we not love Scipio?
Because I liked Hannibal better.
Oh, okay. I mean, I like Hannibal too, so I feel you.
Although Scipio is an excellent name. I tried to name my eldest son that, and my spouse said no, we were not going to name a kid that with his proper patrician name. One of these days, I'm going to get that through.
So you went with Aurelian instead, right?
Right.
Naturally.
So how much of the vibe of the Empire was flavored through all these stories, or was it more focused on the items?
It depends on the story, I would say. Some people definitely emphasize it more than others. And the setting covers the equivalent of the fantasy Mediterranean, which is the Amasarian in the Amasarian Sea in the setting. So for instance, like Sam's story is set more off in the Sunset Kingdoms, which are, your kind of your Ursats, Egypt, Assyria, Mesopotamia type vibes. Likewise, the story with the hidden tent, which is Debts on the Long Road, is set in Oplenia, which is more of a desert kingdom. But some of the others are very much set right in the Empire, like Siege on the Borderlands by Nate McIntyre is right smack in the dab and actually in the middle of the official game setting in the starter handbook. Shield Bearer definitely is set in the core setting, although it's focused on the dwarves more than the Auran Empire. By Axe and Blade is essentially a barbarian's interaction with the Auran Empire and an Auran patrician and an Auran priestess. John C. Wright's Shadow Blade is kind of like the last Auran patrician in Rorn, which is kind of like the Ursat's Britain vibe, where the legions have pulled out, but some of the patricians are still there, and there's like the lingering remnants of the Roman ways. So it's kind of story by story. It's a through line that is more visible in some than others.
So given that it's set in the Mediterranean, were any of them nautical themed stories?
Surprisingly, no. There were no real nautical themed stories. Yeah.
Oh, that just means you've got an open invitation for another anthology.
You know, my
same
last,
kind of thing, but put it on the sea.
Yeah, my last Axe campaign was a pirates campaign of it was pirates of the Amasarian Sea, and so
nice.
There's definitely good fun to be had in doing ancient piracy on galleys and whatnot.
So, are you planning on doing, since we mentioned future? Are you thinking you might want to do more of these anthologies in the world?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, if it's a big hit, I'll definitely do more. You know, if it doesn't do super fantastic, then probably not. You know, I'm a small business. It's just a one man company. So I have to, you know, I have to sort of allocate resources where I can, you know, keep the ship afloat, so as to speak, to go nautical. And
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you. So I have high hopes. I hope it does really well. I would love to be publishing great fiction. I feel like I know I struggle to find the sort of fiction that I like to read in the market. I feel, you know, like if I wanted to read about, I don't know, minotaurs having sex with werewolves, there's ample opportunity. But like a simple story about, like, you know, a heroic male warrior defending his empire just seems really hard to find. So,
what about a heroic minotaur?
I mean, is it a heroic minotaur defending his empire, or is it a heroic minotaur having sex with things? Because that's like the genre split these days.
Because this is a family-friendly show, we're just going to move right on and go.
I was going to say let's leave it there. But so, speaking of which, I need to ask the Mom Squad question, which is, when you're looking at content and that kind of stuff, who's kind of the target audience here? Are we looking at, you know, PG-13, so teenagers and above? Are we more in the realm of the adults? Kind of. Who do I buy it for on my Christmas list?
Yeah, I would say it's PG-13. It's almost at the same level of like Robert E. Howard Conan stories. So there's some violence, there's sexual themes, but like there's no actual naughtiness. It's anything like that is fade to black. The level of gore, there's some gore, but it doesn't approach anything like you would see in some of the more brutal horror novels of the day. It's I would say it's probably emotionally more mature than anything else. Like a couple of the stories actually kind of punch you in the gut, you know, with loss and betrayal and treachery and sadness and woe. But I think that's a good thing, you know. So yeah, so I would say mature teenagers up through you know, any age reader. Definitely skews probably more male in its demographic appeal. But I think there's some good crossover appeal as well. You know, there's some romance story. There's some romance in the stories. There's some deep personal character development. You know, it's not just blood and thunder. So.
I love it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with blood and thunder.
No, not at all. I mean, if I wrote the stories, they would be all blood and thunder. Like, you know.
So did you write any of the stories, Alex? Did you write any of your own?
No, I didn't. I might write like a foreword, but I didn't write any of the stories. No.
Okay. Is there anything about this anthology or the crowdfunding that we didn't discuss? Are there going to be tiered prizes? Because right now it's set to launch in a month. So, you know, what kind of stuff can we expect from the campaign itself?
Yeah. So generally what I do is 3 tiers. So there'll be, you know, your digital tier where you just get access to the EPUB or whatnot. Then there will be a trade paperback tier, which will be like a nice size trade paperback with a good cover, nice paper, offset printed, good quality. And then there will probably be some ridiculous collector's edition exclusive with a ridiculous, you know, fake leather cover with gold embossing and, you know, that kind of vibe.
Stuff.
I'm still waiting on the price quote for the exclusive hardcover. It's either going to be similar to the Axe Imperial imprint black leather books, or it will be a really nice book jacketed book with a cloth binding underneath the book jacket. I'm just waiting on sort of the price quotes on what we can do at the expected volume for the collector's edition version. But I try and make the books really, really high quality. I feel like if someone is willing to risk their blood, sweat, and tears on a crowdfunding campaign, you really need to deliver a really nice book to them. And so hopefully people will feel that. I think people have really found the quality of the Axe books to be good. So we want to keep that up.
And have you go ahead.
I just say that like I have the black leather bound editions of all the Axe books, and they are absolutely phenomenal quality. I mean, everything from the outside to the gold foil on the front and the artwork inside are just it's spectacular.
Awesome.
Did you go as crazy as Troll Lord Games and build your own print studio because you're that much of a paper fanatic?
No, those guys are true fanatics. Got to respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I have worked with old documents, and I've met those kind of fanatics, and I would not want to be them. But
no, I don't. I don't have. I have the hand-eye coordination of a retarded halfling, so I would never involve myself in any sort of work of that regard. I'm purely cerebral.
There you go. Have you figured out what potential stretch goals there might be as we bring this to a close? I know, like I said, we're recording this early to kind of start building the hype, but have you thought about what those goals might be?
Oh yeah, for the stretch goals, yeah, for sure. So the two stretch goals I'm pretty excited about is one, if we hit threshold, we're going to do an illustration for every book. So like get one of the art team to do like a really beautiful black and white illustration of the story. That'll be the front page of the story, which I think would be really nice. And then another stretch goal will be to have a digital addendum to go with it that will give you like the character stats for all of the characters that appear in the story. So that way you can use them in your own RPG. I think people would really like that. That would be cool. So,
and the item stats are probably already in that.
Yeah, the item stats are already available, so they would because not everybody will have the treasure tome, so we'll include those as well if we do the digital addendum. So that.
Okay. So is there going to be an option where if someone says, "Hey, I've never heard of the Access and this sounds interesting," I can get the game system as well as the anthology?
Yeah, I always try and do that. I always try and do add-ons for people that want add-ons. Yeah.
And will that include the physical add-ons for the physical copies of the game books?
Yeah. Yes, it would.
Excellent. Is there anything we haven't discussed that you think we really need to as we wrap this puppy up?
I mean, I guess for me, I would just say, so about 10 years ago, I guess at this point, 13 years ago, I did this TED Talk, and it was about how people don't read as much anymore, and how the fact that they don't read is sort of harmful to their minds. Like it creates a lower attention span culture. That reading is one of the most important things you can do for to keep your mind sharp. And how reading grades keep going down and down and down in our fiction. And when I go now to buy books, I often despair of finding good content, right? Like there's just not as much written that appeals to me as there should be. And a lot of what is written for adults is now written as if it's for children. And so like for me, it was really meaningful to get to do an anthology and to actually pick stories that I thought really delivered the sort of story that I would like to see our publishing industry deliver. And, I don't have the distribution of Random House or Bain or Scholastic, but, can do what I can to like find, great writers and help bring them to market, and that makes me feel really good. So I'm hopeful the crowdfunding campaign succeeds, if nothing else, because I think publishing good fiction is a social good, and I'm happy to do that.
And he's not going to say this, but I think Sam and Zane will agree. Alex has been a complete pleasure to work with. Like he has been a complete pro as an editor. Like we're often used to the busy editing. I mean, you know how it is, but he's been doing a really good job. Just we loved having his story edits. He's been really a delight to work with. He's a complete pro, and it's been really good to work with him too.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. That's very kind, guys. Thank you.
What about you, Sam? Any closing thoughts? Anything you think the listeners should know?
Oh, wow. Because Alex teed it up really nicely for me, I'm going to say 100% agree with him about the lack of good books out there. I was actually just chatting a little bit and messaging with Jana about I work for Raconteur Press. We have a line of boys books because we want to make sure that boys have the kind of stories that we read growing up, so that they will grow up to be men who read. And that is absolutely critical. I think that Teenage Sam would have loved this anthology, especially the stretch one with the stretch goal of having all the characters in it. Oh my goodness, he would. Yeah, all the old dungeon magazine or Dragon magazine
Love
articles
Dragon.
that used to do
yeah.
like here's the stats for Conan and whatnot, and you're just like yeah, I think he would eat this up, and he would dive headfirst into a system like Axe, and I think it's awesome. It's awesome that you have a game system that reads like a book, that reads like the appendix for Lord of the Rings, and you're going through and you're like trying to understand, okay, why did it work this way, how was this, and yeah, I think that's the key, whether it's by gaming or by anthologies or by whatever. Drawing kids into the joy of reading is something we really need to get back to, and I appreciate the fact that that's high on your list, Alex.
And once we do that, they'll never have money for drugs again.
Yep.
Exactly.
Between books and RPGs, yep.
Yeah.
So, closing thoughts, Zane?
Just that, yeah, I can't add anything to what these guys already said. So yeah, just echo that.
Okay, because I was going to ask you a question.
Please do.
Oh, hey.
I'm sorry, low-hanging fruit. I know.
Right, yeah.
I'll be here all week. Try the veal. Okay.
Down with JR. Down with JR.
Okay, so if you want to ask them any questions, do so in the comments, and I will pester them until they answer. Be sure to go to the BackerKit campaign site. It will be linked in the show notes. When you link to it, it will give you the opportunity to click the reminder button, so that way you can get the alert. Have you used BackerKit before, Alex? Is it pretty user friendly?
Oh yeah, I've used it before, and it's virtually identical to Kickstarter experience for people that are familiar with that, so they'll have no problem. Right now, we're in pre-launch, so you'll be signing up to be notified when we go live.
So Kickstarter, so PayPal, credit card, the usual works.
Yeah.
Outstanding. What about IOUs? Because I know Jana would love to buy some with IOUs.
Contact me privately for IOUs. Yeah.
I do like exchanges, usually cookies for product kind of thing, but I'm good with my debts.
Chocolate.
All right, so this is the part.
I make a mean chocolate cookie. It's true. All right, go ahead.
My fudge dealer at Christmas.
It's true.
All right.
have carrot cake right here. When this podcast is over, I'm sending you all away, and I'm going to eat carrot cake. So
I hate you. Now I won't carrot cake. All right. This is the part of the interview, dear listener, where I remind you to please be kind and speak your mind on the reviewing platforms. Your reviews help the right readers find the right book. So do your part. It really does make a difference. And having used BackerKit before, can you leave a review there, Alex?
No, you can't leave a review on BackerKit. You can leave comments. So
okay.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to review this when they were done, where would they go?
Well, eventually we'll get it up on Amazon, at least as an EPUB, and maybe we'll do the Amazon print on demand as well. I don't know that I have the distribution to get it into true circulation via like a Simon & Schuster, but I can certainly use the KDP to get it up on Amazon, and people will be able to buy it there eventually. Usually the way we do it is we don't put things into more broader circulation until after everyone has gotten their books, though, from the crowdfunding campaign, because we want to make sure the backers always get it first.
And will it be available on Drive-Thru RPG or Drive-Thru Fiction as well?
Yeah, I always put everything on Drive-Thru RPG, and then I also maintain Autark Emporium, which is my Shopify store where you can buy direct, essentially the surplus of the Kickstarters, and again, or the crowdfunders, and we do that once the backers have gotten their goods.
So the Drive-Thru RPG will let you leave reviews there as well, dear listener. I say that because reviews are important. It tweaks the algorithm. It helps other customers find things they like as well. So you are keeping the people supplied. So if you like authors and you want them to do more of the thing, you kind of have to spread the word a little bit, and that helps, is leaving reviews. That's how you do that. Share it, tell a friend, leave a review. That's your part as the business, dear listener, as the consumer. And with that, we'll go around Robin, Ben, and Karen. Where might we find you on the wild interwebs?
Yeah, so our X is BK Gibson Writes. We are active there. We're active just as BK Gibson on the Facebook. BKGibson.com is our website. Do you want to admit to any TikTok, or are you not going to do that?
No.
But
Admit to, ooh la la.
but yeah, you can find us. And again, Freedom Zao is out there and on Amazon. So that's the first in the Shepherd trilogy. The next one is currently being worked on with the editor. So whole trilogy is written and that'll be out soon. Yep.
All right. What about you, Sam? How might we stalk you? I mean, follow you on the wild interwebs?
You can find me just about everywhere as Sam Rob Writes. You can find me website samrobwrites.com. X, I'm handle is Sam Rob Writes. Facebook, Sam Rob Writes. You get the picture. samrobwrites.substack.com. I'm more active on X and Substack these days, and just trying to limit my exposure to social media for my mental health and my writing health, because I've got a sequel to my first novel, an urban fantasy set in Pittsburgh called Sigils, that I need to finish and get back to Raconteur Press. And then after that, I've got a sequel to my first novel with Celine Publishing, called A Sense of Murder, that I need to get to John Holmes. He's been bugging me about that every time I talk to him. So
outstanding. And what about you, Zane? Where might we follow you?
You can find me on X. I'm just at Zane Voss. You can find me on Substack at zanevoss.substack.com, or just search my name in Amazon and my author page will pop up there. So
your mother was very nice to give you a name that's unique enough. There's not a dozen.
Right? It's perfect. It's so symmetrical too. It's great.
Right? She was thinking about your writing career from the beginning.
Yes.
You should thank her.
Absolutely.
You're right up there with Jesse James Faines. You got the name that sort of makes the marketing easy.
Yep.
The rest of us, we have to work for it, but All right. What about you? Last but certainly not least, Alex, where might we find you on the wild interwebs? And as usual, links will be in the show notes.
Yeah, so my primary social media is X, where you can find me at Archon, ARCHON. I have a Facebook page for Autark at AutarkCo. Also at autark.co is our website. autarkemporium.com is our store. And I think that's it.
All right, and that will be in the show notes, and you can find us, dear listener, on our Linktree, linktr.ee, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Again, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast, where we link to all the things: the BitChute, the Rumble, the YouTube, the TikTok, the Twitters. We've got our Spotify, our Discord, our Substack, our Blasters and Blades Facebook group and Facebook page. You can email us at blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. Again, blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. For professional purposes only, people. Save the shenanigans from Madam Stabby Stab over there on the Instagram, the Twitter, and the email. We will get her back on at some point in the near future as proof of life, if nothing else. If you follow her on the face pages, she's been going through some medical stuff. Got some good news recently, but it still has interrupted her recording ability. So bug her. She will love you forever. You can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Again, buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Be sure to put in the comment section that is for the podcast. And I promise I will keep the lights on, because these episodes are not free to produce. We appreciate your patronage. Every penny counts. And with that, I would like to thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For my crazy co-host, I am J.R. Handley, and this was the Blasters and Blades Podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time. We'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go. And of course, every time I say that, I get the letters about how I'm the crazy one, but I don't think they're right. I'm just saying. I would know if I was crazy.
I neither confirm nor deny.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on. Ben, Karen, Sam, Zane, and Alex. We appreciate you guys showing up. And all of you had products that sounded amazing, so we want you to come back for solo interviews. And sometimes I say that because it's the polite thing, but today I actually am curious because, you're speaking my nerd language. And with that, we're going to hit the end button. Wait for it. Don't cuss yet, Janet.